The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called to witness what many considered humanity's final hour. Representatives from across the galaxy crowded the observation deck of the massive space station, their various appendages, tentacles, and sensory organs all focused on the tactical display showing the Kepler system. Commander Alvina Chen stood at the bridge of the UES Defiant, her dark eyes scanning the incoming data streams. Around her, the human warship hummed with barely contained energy, its crew of 200 moving with practiced precision despite the impossible odds they faced. "Ma'am, we're detecting over 300 Zephyrian dreadnoughts moving into attack formation," reported Lieutenant Raffi Martinez from the tactical station. His young face was grim but determined. "They're demanding the immediate surrender of all human colonies in the Outer Rim." The Zephyrians had been the galaxy's dominant military force for over a millennium. Their crystalline exoskeletons could withstand temperatures that would vaporize most organic matter, and their ships were powered by harvested stellar cores. No species had ever successfully challenged them in open combat. Until today. "Status. Report on the colonies?" Alvina asked, her voice steady despite the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. "Evacuation of non-combatants is complete," Raffi replied. "Colonial defense forces are dug in, but..." He didn't need to finish. Everyone knew the colony's makeshift defenses wouldn't last an hour against the Zephyrian fleet. On the council, Station Ambassador Kath Lara of the Vorthan Collective chittered nervously. "The humans must realize this is suicide," she transmitted to her fellow observers. "One ship against 300? Their primitive minds cannot comprehend such mathematics." High Counselor Zarthek of the ancient Etherian order remained silent, his gaseous form rippling with something that might have been anticipation. He had studied human military history during their brief membership in the Galactic Council. What he had learned both fascinated and terrified him. Alvina activated the ship-wide communication system. "All hands, this is the captain. Today the galaxy watches to see what humans are made of. They expect us to run. They expect us to hide. They expect us to beg." Her voice carried to every corner of the ship and through quantum entanglement relays to every human settlement in the galaxy. "They don't know us very well, do they?" The crew's response was a roar that seemed to shake the very hull of the Defiant. In the observation deck, several alien dignitaries recoiled in shock at the raw, primal sound of human defiance. "Raffi, what's our weapon status?" Alvina asked as she settled into the captain's chair. "All systems green, Captain. The new kinetic barrier arrays are charged, plasma cannons are hot, and the quantum torpedoes are armed and ready." Raffi's fingers danced across his console with practiced efficiency. "Also, ma'am, we're receiving transmission requests from what looks like every major news network in the galaxy." "Put me through on all channels," Alvina commanded. "If they want to watch, let's give them something worth seeing." The main screen flickered to life, showing Alvina's determined face to billions of viewers across the galaxy. Behind her, the bridge hummed with activity as her crew prepared for battle. "People of the galaxy," she began, "today you witness the difference between surrender and sacrifice. The Zephyrians demand our colonies, our freedom, our dignity. They believe their superior numbers make victory inevitable." She paused, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "They're about to learn why humans don't calculate odds the same way everyone else does." The tactical display showed the Zephyrian fleet arranging itself in the traditional Doom star formation, an ancient battle configuration that had crushed 1,000 civilizations. At its center, the flagship Void Render bristled with enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. "Beginning attack run," Alvina announced. "Raffi, take us in, full power to engines." The Defiant accelerated toward the enemy fleet, and across the galaxy, observers held their collective breath. The ship seemed impossibly small against the massive Zephyrian formation, like a single spark flying toward an ocean of darkness. "They're hailing us, Captain," Raffi reported. "The Zephyrian fleet commander wants to discuss terms." "Terms?" Alvina laughed, and the sound sent chills through alien listeners who had never heard such confident joy in the face of certain death. "Tell them our terms are simple. Turn around and go home, or find out why predators don't usually hunt humans, twice. In the council chambers, Ambassador Kethalara turned to her colleagues. Predators? What does she mean by that? High Counselor Zarthek's form darkened. She means, dear Kethalara, that we may have fundamentally misunderstood what humanity actually is. The first Zephyrian weapons fired, brilliant streams of energy that could have boiled oceans. The Defiant twisted through space like a dancer, its human crew's reflexes and intuition allowing them to anticipate and evade attacks that should have been impossible to dodge. Now, Raffi, Alvina commanded. The human warship's response was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of the methodical, calculated warfare practiced by civilized species, the Defiant fought like something wild and desperate and utterly unafraid to die. Quantum torpedoes streaked out in impossible patterns, each one guided not by computer targeting but by human intuition and experience. Kinetic barriers flared and shifted in ways that defied conventional physics, powered by the same reckless creativity that had driven humanity to the stars. And somehow, impossibly, Zephyrian ships began to explode. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies for generations. One human ship, crewed by 200 individuals who refused to accept the concept of impossible odds, carved through the Zephyrian fleet like a blade through paper. When the flagship Voidrender finally erupted in a cascade of stellar fire, taking the last of the Zephyrian fleet with it, the galaxy fell silent. On the observation deck, Ambassador Kethalara stared at the tactical display in shock. How? She whispered. High Counselor Zarthek rippled with what might have been amusement. Because, my dear Ambassador, while we were learning to be civilized, humans were learning to be survivors, and survivors, when cornered, become the most dangerous force in the universe. The Defiant hung in space, battered but unbroken, broadcasting on all frequencies. Captain Alvina's voice carried across the galaxy one final time. This is Commander Chen of the UES Defiant. To any who would threaten human worlds, we are not your prey, we are not your subjects. We are humans, and we do not yield. The galaxy had been warned.